So hello everyone. We are here with Joe Sharpe, editor of content on Installer Show, and we will have slightly different talk. We will have a short podcast, but he will be interviewer. I will be a guest. So we are here to talk about our platform, about Installer Show in general, and heat pump industry. So Joe, welcome and thank you for the invitation.
No, thank you. It's weird. It's like a takeover, isn't it? It's like with role reversal.
Yes, yes, yes.
But it's a good
Yeah,
chance to
yeah.
get to know you a bit as well. So what was you came to the show this year, Mario, but what's your kind of history in the heating industry?
I finished my master degree in mechanical engineering here in Zagreb, in Croatia. And a lot of people think that I'm from UK, but I'm not from the UK. I'm from Croatia. And then I started at that time in Ariston, like technical and service support. And when you are in that position, everyone is calling you and trying to receive the answer, especially when you are a manufacturer. And then I start to learn at that position. Later on, I joined Panasonic, and in both positions, I was responsible for whole range of products, so heat pumps, VRFs, commercial units, gas boiler at a time in Ariston. And then at one point, I realized, yeah, installers are calling me, but there is nothing to do with heat pump itself. In general, 99% is not about unit itself. And this is when I started to go more deep into the design, installation, and trying to catch up with all things not relating directly to manufacturer, because at manufacturer you have the error, but usually it's not the case. And then 2 years ago, I started YouTube channel and decided to go with English to have broader audience. And then I started to make at that time uh, every 2 weeks one video. Started to write on LinkedIn, and then got connected with mostly with whole Europe, but mostly with UK heating industry, and this led to my new company, which I started a few months ago, and we will focus mostly on educational part.
So you found that as a kind of manufacturer rep, people were coming to you with questions because it says the brand name on the box. So there's a problem
Yes,
and they phone out that. But you
yes,
were seeing that it wasn't whatever the emitter was. It wasn't whatever the heat source was. It was the system
yes,
design that was the problem.
yes, yes. You can imagine it simple like this. Uh, we have three main parts in our heating systems. Let's say with heat pumps, we have water, hydronic. This is our wet heating, so radiator standard for, or domestic hot water. We have refrigerant part, which is the core of the heat pump itself, and we have electrical part, or out controls and so on. So you need to be very good in all of this to answer the question. So for example, installer call me, domestic hot water is not working. Now, first thing is try to answer to the phone. Okay, do we have DHV cycle on? Yes. What is the temperature? What is the set temperature? Okay, let's try to measure refrigerant part. Do we have enough refrigerant? Let's try to log in some data. This is really complex thing, and I think this is at that time it was really stressful because you need to give the answer to someone who has more experience than you in installing in servicing these units, but you're the manufacturer and your name is on the plate.
Yeah.
And this is quite, I can say, the best position if you want to learn a lot of things. You cannot be the expert in one, like for example in hydronics, but you can master all of these things. And if you're willing to learn, and I'm the kind of a guy who are willing to learn, at some point I realized, okay, we need to follow some steps, procedures to cover all of this.
So then is that the kind of the like education that you're putting across now to heating engineers? Is you've had all of this, you've been at the coalface, so you're trying to educate installers so they don't have to lean on like people like you in the past.
Yes, yes. The main thing is what now we just developed our new online educational platform, which is different because of the one main thing. First is microlearning. I will explain it later on. And second is interactive elements. So you have a lot of resources today, and especially with AI, with YouTube videos, there is never-ending amount of resources. But average engineer and installer, they need to deal with a huge amount of work, paperwork, installation, deals, and so on. So we decided to go in direction with simple approach. Microlearning, this is, you can imagine it like a one topic, a little bit of thing, and clear outcome. For example, in our new module, we cover the refrigerant section and let's say compressor. I put video, I think 5 or 6 minutes. So 6 minute video, only compressor, types of compressor, and then assessment. And assessment is interactive because if you are just watching something, you cannot retain that knowledge. There is
Yeah.
pyramid of learning that it says that 90% for you of what you can learn is through teaching, and only 5% is when you are listening. And this is why we put these two main things and try to put it in a small bits. So you have module one, which is this one, refrigerant cycle. We will develop through the end of the year all aspects of the area. And of course, if you are in that position, if you are in our industry, which is huge, you will follow manufacturer, for example, I don't know, Panasonic, Viessmann, whatever, but technology is always the same. So this is why I wanted to develop this, what I was missing 5 years ago. When I started, it was like, you need to go deep to find something to connect. Now we have these online tools, but with interactivity, and what is also the third main advantage, that it's really intuitive on mobile phone. So you can
Okay.
you can go on site, you can check what is going on. So this is some kind what we think that the market needs for now.
So if you would have had this 5 years ago in your role, you would have thought this was brilliant.
Yes, because it's like a game. So when you see this, it's not like boring learning. Everyone is talking a lot of PowerPoints, especially in our industry. A lot of service manuals are with hundreds of pages of text. And engineers, I think I found out that 30% of engineers are dyslexic. And they told me we have a problems with text. We need visuals. And with visuals, you can put and you can give them that information. For example, four-way valve. A few years ago, I need to diagnose how this thing works. Someone called me, oh, four-way valve is broken. First, what is four-way valve? How this works? What is this thing? And this is what I was missing. And you need to spend countless of hours just to go deep inside and try to learn. This is how I can see this platform.
And it's ready to roll now, isn't it? Was it launched this week?
Yes, yes, it's launched. It's launched with this introduction and technology. So we are covering physics, refrigerant cycle, and efficiency. Regarding physics, this is what your and my friend Nathan is talking a lot about: heat and temperature, power, energy. So a lot of these things you will think that you know that, or I know that, but it's quite different because heat and temperature are different and you are not taking care of that. So you think radiator needs to go with 70 degrees, but why? How house is losing that heat and so on. So we want to go from basics. I'm targeting also experienced installers, but still a lot of them they lack basics. I was in that position. So you need basics. If you want to install or troubleshoot the system, you need to know first how this heat is going, how this thing is working, and then you can put piece of the puzzle inside of that.
So they can, if installers who are looking to find it now, how do they get access to it? How do they sign up to the platform? What can they expect when they do?
So first thing is we have it on our website, hvseduhub.com, and then you can buy the course. Now this course, what I mentioned, introduction to technology, you can find 17 micro learnings. So each micro learning is 5 to 10 minutes, I think,
Cool.
somehow like that. Yeah. And each micro learning has own video, assessment with drag and drops, with different colors, with real life examples. And when you finish all of this, you will receive certificate. For now, this is our certificate, like HVAC Education Hub, but plan is probably in the future when whole 5 modules will be done. So next modules will be design, installation, commissioning and troubleshooting after sales. Probably we'll go with BPEC, LCL, or some accredited body in the UK. Of course, we are targeting global audience, but the main goal is also UK. So this is idea, but a lot of ideas in head. So we'll see what will this bring.
Yeah, so this is for obviously anyone, any heating engineer, whether it's in the UK, US, Croatia. This is anyone who wants to kind
Yes,
of either top up their knowledge or revisit things that might have been lost in the past.
yes. This was the hardest part to try to cover both for new guys and for experience.
Yeah,
Because someone who has experience will say, "Oh, I know this," but you can always refresh your knowledge or see different perspective. This is our one of our goals. Another one is trying to target big manufacturers and big companies because I'm coming from manufacturer background, and so let's say both companies that I'm working for, one of the best companies in the world, a lot of good guys, a lot of knowledge, but you don't have clear pathway. So you don't have onboarding. Okay, what is refrigerant cycle? You need to ask someone or to dig somewhere, and then you're stuck. And this will be like this could be also like introduction, so onboarding of employees, so they can catch up with this because you have a lot of technical guys, but still a lot of marketing guys, sales guys. Today, end user is really educated. So homeowners, they know a lot of things. So you need to
yeah.
talk with them. You need to talk with installers. And this is how we can see this when we will finish all of these modules. Another thing, what we can offer, for now, not, but when we will finish the module, personalized approach. So for example, you are a big manufacturer, you have some online platform, but you are covering mostly your products. We want to cover everything from design, from valves, pumps, house, insulation, whatever. And we can offer our platform and our education like part of manufacturer own learning. So this is second step what we want to achieve with this.
And then for like larger installation companies as well, people like 10 plus, 10 employees plus. Yeah, if you've only got a couple that have this knowledge, you could then start rolling this out across everyone, upskill everyone equally, and then they can go off and have those conversations and do that work.
Yes, yes, we want to build this as a part of our community. Now UK especially, we have really good community of the guys everywhere. But let's say LinkedIn, YouTube, podcasts, and so on. But we want to make the platform itself like one place for community. This first course is just a starting point to roll out the platform to receive the feedback because we have other options inside of the platform like collaboration. You can have also online collaborative learning, and as you mentioned with companies, this is quite good, especially for bigger companies, let's say 10 plus, or even for manufacturer with hundreds of thousands. You can have in this learning pathway a facilitator. For example, you Joe, you are training manager and you have 50 people, and then you can see at each point where is your employee in this learning journey. So you can have analysis, insights. We can see, okay, someone is spending too much time on this part. Probably we put something complicated. We can adapt it. So
Yeah.
it's really like a live organism. So it's not like fixed. It's live and it's really adaptive for user needs. Of course, depending on feedback and what people need.
No, it's really interesting. So, what you mentioned, we got a good community in the UK, but the UK heat pump market is still relatively junior compared to some of the countries on the continent. So, what do you think the state of the kind of the heat pump industry is in the UK and in the rest of Europe and the rest of the world, really?
Let's say I'm here in Croatia. So main difference is that here we have a lot of mostly new builds are going with heat pumps. In UK you have this grant with 7,500
Yeah,
and a lot of retrofits are going. I think in UK you also have some, in my opinion, unrealistic numbers. So in 2028, 600,000 heat pumps.
yeah,
I'm not sure if this will happen. And also one research is that few hundreds of engineers are missing in the Europe. So now we are, let's say, you have a good community, but we can say that there are 10, 50, 100 of us. And
Yeah,
I think it's not enough for 100,000
mass
engineers. Or
market.
I think in UK you need 30,000 more engineers, and you have really good gas boiler base. So you have a lot of these guys who are really good on tools, but how to approach them with heat pumps, which work slightly different, this is the challenge. And I can see from my experience and from the platform now in this, let's say, few days and experience as educator and trainer in last years, you need to have someone who is willing to learn, who is willing to change the behavior. So we have really status quo in whole Europe. Let's say heating industry is really big history. But you had previously gas boiler or oil boiler. It was not so important if you have efficiency 70 or 90%. Now you can have 200 or 500. Electricity is starting to be expensive, especially in UK. You have high electricity to gas price ratio. So a lot of these things, and I'm always telling you need three pillars. So one is manufacturer because they have product, they have knowledge, they are investing a lot. You need to have private companies, even myself or installers or designers. So this is the core, and you need to have third sector like colleges, public spaces. So everyone must be on the same line, and I think now we are not at that position.
Do you think the UK is a bit further behind than other European countries in respect to like you said, the amount of qualified engineers that can go out and work on heat pumps to a really high level?
I can say that you have really good guys, good industry, but probably it's only few percent of them. If it's only few percent of them, on the other hand, you have really one of the biggest gas network in the
Yeah,
Europe. So
yeah,
I think you have really good engineers. For example, your country, what I realized now when I was there, you don't have so much air conditioners. So this is quite strange because here in Croatia we have, I think, 50 years of refrigeration
yeah.
behind. This is how you need to connect refrigeration, guys. So they need how refrigerant cycle works, how air conditioner works, because this is also heat pump, and heating engineers with hydronic part. And now you have in UK, you have a lot of hydronic engineers, gas engineers, but they don't care so much what is on the other side. So how this gas boiler works, it is working. It is working, not so expensive, everything is fine. But still design is not on so high level. So this is quite challenging, but I think everywhere is the same. So you and me and 2000 years ago, human is the same. So basically you have really good position, I can say from my experience because of the English speaking, so you can connect with a lot of different countries. For example, probably French or German market is big, but I don't have so much contact as they are usually with local language, not with English speaking. So this is general what is the difference, but I think you have really good guys and really good perspective for the industry.
But like you said, so it's the business case for it, isn't it? Like consumers are used to, we're not used to aircon either as a homeowner. We are used to boiler. So it's that conversation, if my boiler breaks, can I fit another one? Easily, yes, we can probably do that today. Can I fit a heat pump? There's going to be more stuff to change. So it's the business case about getting some of these guys to change their minds and how their models work. But the more obviously the heat pumps go in, the market starts to get bigger. That's something that they can offer their customers. So it is a bit, but they need the knowledge to start doing now for when that happens, I suppose.
Yes, and this knowledge, I can say that we engineers are usually trying to overcomplicate things. This is why we set up the platform with simple things. Because I received a lot of feedbacks. Oh, you need to put this. Yeah, but this is a lot of data. It's good for me and you and someone else, but for average installer or average homeowner, we need to simplify things.
Yeah,
And as you said with disruption, now this is a problem. But tomorrow or even today in UK, you have time of use tariffs. So we are talking a lot about efficiency. You need to have efficient system. This is true, but I read that you have billions of pounds wasted because in the north part of the country you have a lot of wine, and you cannot distribute this to the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
to,
So you have to turn them
to
off. Yeah.
yes, to turn them off. But if we could set up that heat pump is part of this heat distribution, then you are on the pathway to say, yeah, we can exchange the boiler. We don't need to upgrade the pipes. You will run on some higher flow temperature, but doesn't matter because electricity provider will give you money to spend this. So this is, I think this will be part of the business. You have it in UK, we don't have still in Croatia with PV, with batteries, with storage, with flexible demand. This will be the future.
So then you're starting to think of like the heating system within a house with all the solar and stuff like that as a system, and then that system is part of a grid, which is
Yes.
itself a system, and then you can balance it in a home level with your EV charging, whatever, and you can also balance it on a kind of city by city or area by area level.
Yes, and in that case, let's say you are a homeowner, you don't need to take care of your heating system. You have your Tesla or Netflix or whatever, you have subscription, everything is clear. If you need to think about it, you don't want, you want
Yeah, 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 yeah,
convenient system. And this is where I think energy providers are going much further than heating manufacturers are still quite in some old world when you have fixed price, when you have fixed system. Now system is really flexible. You have a lot of startups in this energy sector. Uh, Even in the UK, you have, let's say, for example, Octopus. This is probably one of the most famous. If you have partnership with them and partnership with installers, then end user can go on one place and he will receive heat pumps, heating system, EV charger, subscription,
yeah,
electricity prices, and you don't care if electricity price is, let's say, zero. You don't care about flow temperature.
yeah. You're into heat as a service, aren't you? You're into your mobile phone
Yeah,
style contracts.
heating as a service, yeah. And then you need, we are also talking a lot how to set up weather curve and so on. No, system will do it for us. But this software and how to connect these softwares, I think this is the main challenge. Because usually, manufacturers they have some strong data policy on their unit, and until now, everyone is by their own. Okay, we are a heat pump manufacturer, you are EV manufacturer, you are this and that, and you are not communicating through
Yeah,
this.
that
If you can
that's tough.
communicate, that's the stuff because you need to control heat pump itself. If you cannot control compressor, pump, and these elements, which are crucial, you cannot have not both comfort and efficiency. So you need to control this from manufacturer, and then you can have, as you mentioned, heating as a service. This is sentence what we can see that it will be buzzword in next years.
Yeah, so this is quite exciting, the kind of future of the industry for installers, because there's lots of opportunities to get involved in all of this. Where do you see the HVAC education hub sit within this to help with this big old transition to electrification and smart and all that sort of stuff? What's your role to help installers to get there as well?
So until now, my role was to try to catch up with everyone, with manufacturers, with installers, with designers, marketing guys, and so on. So I can see that our hub will be the place to try to connect all of the big brains in the industry and to explain to them, okay, we have a system. So all of this is a system, and try to have on board big heat pump manufacturers, big pump manufacturers, PV manufacturers, you name it, InstallerSHOW like marketing organizations, because I think we need you and you need us to work in collaboration because this is what is the feedback also for me that I'm not like usual engineer. You have excellent engineers who are sitting in their offices and drawing things, but you need to have a voice and you need to have a voice to present to people. Yeah, we have this. This is why we are also trying to make a different concepts, different videos, and as you mentioned on Installer Show. So this is what I can see us in the next year and try to be this connection point for, as I mentioned previously, private companies, manufacturers, and third sector.
Yeah, it's an industry, isn't it? We're all part of the industry. Like you need all the
Yes.
manufacturers, you need the technical experts, you need the installers, the boots on the ground, you need the designers, you need everyone in between. So it is an industry problem as well. It's an industry challenge to get this fully
In
decarbonisation and stuff.
yes.
You need policymakers and you need
Yes.
groups that talk to government as well. So yeah, the role is all of us in it together, really.
Yes, and actually, my experience, I met probably tens of thousands of installers through the phone, in person. Usually, all of these guys are excellent. I mean, excellent from human perspective. And
Yeah,
manufacturers, you can imagine, oh, this is someone somewhere. No, this is guys like you and me, and you have a lot of good engineers there. But if you are part of the big system, you cannot change it immediately. So we also receive the feedback, oh, you need to put something on the main board in heat pump. But in next 1000 installation, only one will use that. Why we need to adopt this feature? So it's really hard to make something which will satisfy all
everyone.
three,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
three areas, everyone. Yeah, and we need to. I think we need to go more with these basics because even you I usually work better with guys who are new to the industry, so they don't know anything, but they are good in analytical skills. They can learn fast, so you can explain to them, yeah, heat pump is doing this and that. But if someone is working for, I don't know, 30 years on oil boiler, and he will say, yeah, I know everything, but you don't know everything because a lot of
You
things will
can't.
change.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can't. Even we today, we are talking about this, and tomorrow maybe price of electricity will be zero. So our our,
Who knows?
our
Yeah.
discussion, yeah, our discussion is outdated. And also we plan. This is the plan, but as you put that you will have installer show in New York next year. This is when I received the idea maybe to go there to try to catch up with that market, because US market, they are excellent in VRFs, in DX, in air units, but with hydronic they don't have so much hydronic systems. What is your experience and feedback? Do you have
Yeah,
some contacts there?
it's a similar thing. They were saying it's especially in New York. Our weather is all in the UK. It's quite standard, so we don't have the big peaks and troughs. Whereas in New
Hmm.
York, they have a very clear heating season where everything needs to be heated, otherwise the buildings are uncomfortable. And then around now, a cooling season where if there's no air conditioning, so they get much more disparate weather. So your HVAC mechanics have to be, yeah, it's more of that. Whereas like in the UK, there's heating season, and then the summer, the installers can pick and choose what other jobs to do and things like that. And again, the makeup of the cities, especially in New York, is completely different to the housing stock that we've got over here. So it's interesting, but it's the same kind of challenges. It's the same brands, like the
Hmm.
Navians, and you mentioned them, quite a lot of the heat pump manufacturers as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to learn more about what their challenges is. One of them that does keep coming up a lot though is the skills gap. The next generation of people coming through,
Yes.
the decarbonisation thing. The guys doing it have been doing it for ages, exactly the same as ours, and they know what they know. Um, is there a new generation coming through? Do they want to be like working on the tools and stuff like that? So there's going to be a lot of interesting topics.
Yes, and I realized in the UK you have really strong apprenticeships history, but now I can see that it started to be really, let's say, expensive for the employers, because you
Yeah,
need to invest a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of these guys, I know also from Croatia, trade is not so popular, so popular. It was like, okay, you need to go to university and this and that. I finished the university, but I spent 7 years, 6 or 7 years. In 7 years, you can learn the trade really fast, and
yeah.
it's really interesting. What I can say that it's really interesting industry. It's really exciting, and I mentioned this is quite hard to catch up with all of these regulations, refrigerants, and so on. But on the other hand, it's challenge because there is no the same day. Probably for you is the same. So it's everything is different.
Yeah, when you talk to the guys at InstallerSHOW, the Nick Erlams and that sort of stuff, so the
Hmm.
guys who have got a couple of employees, he's doing fantastic work. Heating Installer of the Year, like working on very big projects, but he can't take on more unless he has the trained staff. To train the staff from an apprentice takes a lot of time. And then they're not guaranteed to stick around. They could just go, oh, yeah, this isn't for me. I want to go and do something completely different. So if you talk to, and it's the same for all of them, whether you're a sole trader, if you had somebody working with you, you'd be able to do more, but you have to ensure you've got the work to take on the wage and stuff like that. So that is something that keeps coming up. Everyone we speak to, and you would have been the same,
Yes.
is encountering the same challenge, which is something that needs addressing.
Yes, and a lot of guys' feedback was that, let's say, in-person education is always the best. But as you mentioned, you need to spend a lot of time, and time is the money, especially for that guys. So I think this hybrid approach could be good, especially let's say how I conceived our modules. So you don't need to start from zero. So you have, I don't know, apprenticeship or college or co-worker, whatever. You can send him, okay, you can watch these videos, pass this online course in your free time or whatever, even on your work. You can spend 1 hour per day, and you will know what is the compressor, what is the refrigerant cycle, what is pump, what is heat
Yeah,
pump, and then you can go, because always you will learn on tools. You cannot learn from everything from education, but from starting point, you don't need to spend tens of hours to explain, okay, this is heat, this is temperature, this is compressor. This is what I can say that this hybrid approach could probably uh, be solution, especially also with rising costs for companies. So you have really huge costs, especially installers company. You have a lot of ones, staff in the office, staff on tools, tens of thousands of euros or pounds just spending on the tools. So this is
yeah.
quite challenging.
Yeah, so for people that they're training up, apprentices and trainees, like you said, this approach, you can get your hands-on experience with the engineer. They could use this in the background as their own CPD, in
Yes.
addition to their college if they're in college once a week, and it will speed up and make them kind of quicker, be more useful quicker.
Yes. This is, but I think depending on the company. If you are, I think you need to have at least 10 people if you want to set up the system like that. If you are one man band or two men, it's you are always catching up with the work. I
Yeah,
can
okay.
say with myself, if I'm alone, it's really hard to manage all of these things. But another point could be in our industry. I can say you mentioned lack of the people. There is no real competition. So if you are installer and I am installer, we can work together. So we can have some big job. You will do this part, I will do this part.
Yeah, subcontracts, yeah.
Yeah, what is your experience from the UK? Do you have a lot of these subcontractors collaborations?
Yeah, I think so because, like you said, it's difficult for installers to scale your business from like a one or a two to a five plus. So yeah, I think you'll see that in heat pump systems, but also in just big like boiler. So I know definitely guys who have. I've got a huge job coming up in a house in London. It's like a millionaire property. I need another pair of hands, but someone who is really good, and they would just subcontract to someone else in that area. It'll be the same with electricians as well. If you get a huge project, it's easier to just subcontract it to somebody else. And if you like them, you get to spend time with them, and it becomes a bit fun as well. So I think that is definitely something that is a more of a challenge for smaller businesses. Because if you know that you get more of those jobs, then you could take somebody on. But until you've got somebody on, it's difficult to quote for those types of jobs.
Yes. It's circle. You cannot employ someone
Circle.
if you don't have
Yeah.
if you don't have jobs and inquiries. It's interesting. And I want to ask you, what was your experience with, let's say, installer show in general? I was first time there, and
Yeah.
it was for me.
What did you think of it?
It's huge. It's like I was in Frankfurt. In Frankfurt, it's like 10 times bigger,
Yeah.
but still we created a lot of content. We did I think 10 or 15 videos, and it's really exhausting if you are doing like that. And I think I missed a lot of guys because it's like first time for me in the UK, first time on Installer Show. Let's try to catch up with everyone. I'm thinking maybe next year to have some small stand or to plan something different. And for sure, 3 days, 2 days are not enough.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's grown hugely over the last 5 years. It's been going for 10 years as well, and it's completely night and day to what it was when it started. But
Hmm.
yeah, it was again fantastic for us this year. 3 days, 31,000 people, I think we had, three halls.
Oof.
Yeah, 800 plus exhibitors, and it's a good place to go and learn about new products. So you go up and talk to the technical experts, you talk to the product managers, and it's a good. There's loads of live content and stuff, so it's good to listen to some of the talks and things like that and collaborate that way. But it's the best place to go and network with other engineers because they've all got the same challenges or similar challenges, similar business models. So that is a huge part of it, getting everyone in the same place at the same time. They can talk to each other. If you're from, I know like Sean Scott flies down from Scotland, how often does he, get the chance to talk to people from London because they're at completely different
Yes.
ends of the country, or meet you because you've flown in from Croatia? So that community feel is what makes it such a good place to go.
Yes, and how hard is to organize such a big event? But you have probably a really
It is,
good
yeah.
team.
I mean, yeah. So I think in like 2019, there was 6 people working on it, and now in
Hmm.
2025, there's 30 people working on it. So
Oof.
obviously, yeah, it's accelerated. The company's accelerated as well, and we keep bringing on more and more really good people in marketing or in content or in, operations and things like that. So yeah, we essentially work in it all year, every day, and then it's a manic week and then we start preparing for the next one. We've also got Elemental coming up for the first time this year in London in November, which is the same kind of heating, HVAC, cooling, but in bigger applications. So for big
Hmm.
buildings, housing associations, local authorities, big projects, leisure centres, and stuff like that as well. So whereas before we then have a year to prepare for the next one, we're now onto the cycle for Elemental. I think registration went live for that last week or a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I
we're
realize.
already focused on the next thing. Like Nathan Van Gamblen will be helping us out with that with some of the local authority works. So yeah, it's exciting, but it does move quite quickly.
Yes, maybe I need to think to come to
Yeah,
Elemental. I need to see how to schedule, but looks also interesting. And next year in US, what is your
yeah.
what you think
So
will be in the
we
US?
we are part of a larger events company now. We got acquired a few years ago called 19 Group. They also acquired a business called Oliver Kinross, which does New York Build. So they've been doing New York Build in New York every year for the last 10 years. That's a building construction show. So it's everything. It's very broad. Everything involved with construction. So we're going to co-locate with them. So we'll be at the Javits Centre. They will have a hall. We'll have a hall, and ours will focus more on completely on the HVAC side of it. So yeah, it won't. It's a launch for us, which is quite funny because obviously in the UK, everyone knows InstallerSHOW. Everyone knows
Hmm.
Installer. In the US, they don't, but they know New York Build. So yeah, it'll be very exciting. That's in March at the Javits Centre. It'll be for the New York audience, the American audience, but specifically that area. So it's exciting. It's going to be very interesting. It's been very well received by everyone. Everyone's like, yeah, this is a really good idea. I'm looking forward to, like you said, going and talking to them all and saying, what are
Yes.
your challenges? What do you do? What's this? How does this work? Because it's new for us as well. But the core of it is the same. It's small businesses, medium businesses, big businesses working on similar systems in different properties, flats, and ground source and all that sort of stuff. So it's very exciting.
Yeah, it will be interesting. I will probably go, but I need to check up maybe to have also a stand. We will see. If we are going, let's say, 8 hours flight to New York, it will be good to have a stand. So
Yeah, yeah.
because especially I we talk about this in the UK, I know a lot of the people, so I can network wherever. But in the US, I don't know so much people, so it will be good to present ourselves to them.
Yeah, yeah. Start networking, isn't it? That's this is the point of the trade show. Start shaking hands with people. What was quite funny, I went out to New York Build, and so at our show, it's very interactive, but you kind of have to like do something to entice people onto your stand, don't you? Whereas in New York, the visitors will just be like, "Hey, I'm Joe. Nice." Just walk straight up to you. Nice to meet you.
Oh,
What's
really?
this? Yeah, yeah. They're much more kind of like outgoing, aren't they, as people? So that it will be something it's a good thing, but it'll be different feel to the one in the UK. And again, ISH in Germany would be a different type of visitor. So again, we're learning all of this as we go, and it's exciting.
Yeah, yeah. It's exciting for me also. It's everything is new and you need to take care of everything. I started like, okay, we'll do some designs or some educations. Now in 3 months, we launch complete new platform, trying to catch up with everything to manage some partners, manufacturers, and so on. So it's challenging, hard, but really, really rewarding to see to see result of this. For example, the same is with you. If you can see really good feedback for the show, you know, okay, we spent so much time,
Yeah.
but feedback is really good.
Yeah, that's what happens. You get, as soon as the doors open and there's a big queue and you're like, right, everyone's having a good time. After the 3 days, you can come away and be like, oh, because you put it, it's the same as launching a product, isn't it? We always say that whoever's launching a new heat pump, all the R&D that goes into it, the drawings, the testing, then the production, then you put it in installers' hands and they like it. That is a 2 or whatever year process. You put a lot of work into it, and then at the end of it, when it's good, it's good. So it's an exciting time for the whole industry. I think there's a lot of opportunities for everyone, and I think that mirrors the kind of good feel of the show. Lots of new stuff, lots of collaboration, lots of interest, lots of new ways of doing things.
Yes, 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 agree. Okay, Joe, I
Was there
think we
anything
covered.
else? I think we covered
Ah,
everything. Yeah,
I don't know. First half, you were the interviewer, then I managed to be interviewer, but
good.
I think we covered everything. Thank you very much, and thank you to everyone who was listening to our discussion, and check more about Installer Show and Installer Show in Europe, in UK. So we'll probably be on the boat. So see you.